Hadadhanva. So this king Hadadhanva, he was the son of a king called Chitradhanva. And this Hadadhanva, he was a king in Dravida Desha, and very, very pious king. He had taken the kingdom from his father Chitradhanva. He got married to a beautiful queen. He had 4 sons and 1 daughter. He was following all the spiritual practices. He was ruling his kingdom properly. All the citizens were very happy with him. But once it so happened that this Hadadhanva, he went for hunting. The kings used to go for hunting. So while hunting, he went inside the forest very deep. He was trying to pursue a deer. So as he went inside deep in the forest, he lost his way. So then there was a small river there, and he took some water and he started taking rest underneath a tree. So while he was taking rest underneath a tree, he hears a parrot. And the parrot, those days the kings were very expert. They used to know the language of the birds. They used to know the language of the animals. So what the parrot is telling the king, there are some people out there who, after gaining a lot of material opulence, forget the goal of human life. So the parrot keeps repeating that. There are people out there who, after getting lot of material opulence, forget the goal of human life. So the parrot keeps telling like this. Meanwhile, the soldiers, they were searching where the king is, and they came to him, and then they escorted him back to the kingdom. But the king was day and night meditating on these words of the parrot. So after some time, Valmiki Rishi comes there. So Valmiki Rishi is asking the king, my dear king, you look very morose. What happened? So the king shares with Valmiki Muni what he heard. And he said, it's pinching me. Why did the parrot say like this? Who was that parrot? What exactly? Then Valmiki Muni, he just closes his eyes and then he says, oh. Then he says, my dear king, that parrot was your son. He is your son from your previous birth. So then Valmiki Muni tells this very beautiful story. He says, my dear king, you were a Brahmana. You were a Brahmana residing near the Tamparani river with your beautiful wife, very obedient wife, the daughter of Gautam Muni called Gautami. And your name was Sudeva, a very, very pious Brahmana. So you and your wife were very nicely following the Vaishnav culture, and you were a very nice exemplary couple, and you were living a very beautiful life. But the only problem that you had was you had no son. So you were lamenting. So once it so happened that after waiting for many, many years, finally when they had no child, the Brahmana Sudeva, he got very agitated and he was telling his wife that maybe I should just give up my life because I don't have a son. And if you don't have a son, who will offer the oblations? Who will carry forward, our lineage? What will happen? So better I leave my body. So now this Gautami, being a daughter of a rishi, she was having good knowledge. So she just counsels her husband, oh, you are a Vaishnava. You're not supposed to talk like that. Why not we worship the Supreme Lord? Maybe he can help us. Why not we worship Jagannath? So then Sudeva, Brahmana and Gautami, they start worshipping Jagannath. So they do, tapasya, and they are chanting, and they are, doing lots of austerities, trying to please the Lord. So after around 4,000 years of tapasya, finally Lord appears in front of the Sudeva Brahman. He comes atop his Garuda and very, very smiling face with lots of effulgence, and he's like, yes, I'm very happy with your austerities, Sudeva. Tell me what you want. So the Sudeva Brahman says, my lord, I want a son. So Lord Vishnu becomes very grave and he says, well, that is not possible. Ask me something else, because you are not supposed to have son for at least another seven lives. So ask me for something else. Now when Sudeva Brahman, he hears that, he faints. Because he was thinking, for 4,000 years I did tapasya just for this, and now Lord says he can't give it to me. So he simply faints. So when he faints, you see Garuda, he's a Vaishnava, right? He's having lot of mercy. So Garuda goes next to Brahmana, Sudeva, and he's fanning him, trying to, see that he gets his consciousness back. So Garuda is requesting on behalf of Sudeva to Lord Vishnu, Lord, why not you grant him one son? Poor fellow, he's asking. So then, that is why we say, Vaishnavas are more merciful than the Lord, So then Lord looks at Garuda and says, you can also give the boon. You are as powerful as I am. So do one thing, Garuda. You give him the boon. Then to fulfill your word, I'll give him the son. I'll give him a son. So Garuda says, fine. So after some time, when he just, he gets consciousness, then Garuda tells Sudeva, don't worry, I've spoken to Lord and he has granted, you'll get a son. So Sudeva Brahman becomes very happy. So now Gautami gets impregnated. She becomes pregnant, and now a beautiful son is born. They call him Sukhadev. They are very happy. So this Sukhadev is also very, very sweet boy with all good qualities. Is learning scriptures, chanting. Everything is going very well in their life. So once it so happens that Devala Muni visits them. Now we all know Devala Rishi. Very, 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 very prominent person. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Arjun mentions about him, right? We hear in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, sloka number 12 and 13, we see Ashita, Devala, Narada, right? That same Devala. So Devala Rishi comes, and he is also very happy by the hospitality, the way Sudeva and his wife, they treat him. But then Devala Rishi, when he is asked to give blessings to their son, he becomes very grave. So then Sudeva asks, what happened? So then Devala Rishi says, well, I shouldn't tell you this, dear Brahman, but your son has a very short lifespan. He will die when he will be 12 years old. So this is what his lifespan is. So then Sudeva Brahman and his wife, they become very sad. And as predicted, lo and behold, it happens one day. Their child had gone to take bath in the river with his friends. And after some time, the friends come running. And they say that your son is drowned in the water and he is dead. So now this Sudeva Brahman and his wife, they go running to the river bank, and there they see their son is lying there, dead body. So they immediately, out of affection, they just take him in their lap and they are crying. Oh, just looking at his sweet face. Oh, my dear son, please come back to life. Please talk to us. So as they are crying like this, it starts raining very heavily, torrential rains. Now, they don't know what to do. They are in complete shock. So as they're holding their child, they are praying fervently to the Lord. They are just continuously chanting the Lord's name. Now, this is the beauty of a devotee. What does a devotee do? Whenever a devotee is suffering, he goes to the Lord. When a devotee is happy also, he goes to the Lord. When he is suffering also, he goes to the Lord. What happens with the materialistic people or those who are not devotees? They have every reason not to go to Lord, right? If you speak to any materialistic people, if they are very happy and they get lot of success, then they don't want to go to the Lord, because they'll say, I'm busy, I have so much meeting, I have party, I have lot of work. If they have sorrow in their life, then also they don't want to go. Hey, Lord is not kind to me, He didn't do anything nice to me, I have so many problems in my life, that's why I don't want to go to Lord. So whether it is sorrow or whether it is happiness, they don't want to go to Lord. But the thing with the devotee is, when they are very happy also, they want to go to the Lord. Oh, Krishna is so kind to me. When they are very sad also, they want to go to the Lord. Oh, Krishna is my only shelter. Right? This is what devotees do. Bhakta means for everything he runs to the Lord. Sometimes I see, in our temple, in the evening, Sandhya Aarti and all, it's a community, right? There are lots of grihasthas. I see small children, when they're in the Aarti Kirtan, they dance. Sometimes what happens, dancing, somebody's hand touches. Sometimes children, they fall down. If you just see small little children, the moment they get little hurt, the first thing they'll do, mummy, they'll cry and go to mother immediately. But those same children I've seen in our own community, when they grow up, they're 14, 15, teenagers, a little elder, when they fall, they don't go to mother. They take some brahmachari's help, or they take somebody else's, or they just manage. See, the bhaktas are like those small kids. For everything, they'll go to Krishna. Everything, they'll go to Krishna. Whatever happens in their life, they'll go to Krishna. The jnanis, the yogis, the dhyanis, they are like those elder sons. They will try to manage everything by themselves. But bhaktas, they're always like kids. For everything, they want to run to Krishna. Krishna is their only shelter. That's why you see, I like this bhajan by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He says, सुखे ताको दुखे थाको बोल हरि बोल, बोल हरि बोल, बोल हरि बोल, बोल हरि बोल, संपदे विपदे बोलो, बोल हरि बोल, बोल हरि बोल, बोल हरि बोल. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Sampade Vipade. If there is a problem or there is a prosperity, happiness, go to Krishna. If you are sukha, you are happy, go to Krishna. Or you are in dukkha, go to Krishna. You have a problem, go to Krishna. You have no problem, then go to Krishna. For everything, go to Krishna. That is what we are supposed to do. So now what happens to Sudeva and Gautami? Oh, they are crying. Oh, they're crying, but they're devotees, they're Vaishnavas. So they're just holding the dead body, the child, and they're just continuously chanting and chanting and chanting. And that goes on for whole 1 month, 30 days, no food, no water. They're just simply chanting and crying, chanting and crying. Now, it's their good fortune that happens to be the Purushottam month. So now they followed the whole Purushottam Vrata for 30 days, no food, no water, and continuous chanting. So then immediately at the end of the day 30, Lord appears and says, I'm very, very happy with you. You have followed the Purushottam month. What can I do for you? So they're just looking at the Lord, we just want our child back. So then Lord says, all right, I bless that your son will live for 12,000 years. Immediately, Lord blesses. And then at the end of the 12,000 year, he'll come back to me. So they become very happy, and then the life goes on. Now, this same Sudeva Brahman becomes Hada Dhanva. Now, in this Hada Dhanva life, he's got busy with his material opulence, because you see, at the beginning of the class I said, Purushottam month, it does two things. It also gives you happiness in this life and after this life. So, because he had followed Purushottam month, he became a king. He was a Brahmana in the previous life, and now he became a king and a pious king. Now, because he had done that Purushottam month thing, a Lord made an arrangement whereby his own son, Sukhadev, came as a parrot to remind his father that, my dear father, enough of material opulence and enjoyment, now it's time to come back. So then he becomes very serious in his Krishna consciousness, and he follows the upcoming Purushottam month and his chanting and his sadhana, and then definitely he also goes back home, back to Godhead. So Purushottam month, it offers so many benedictions,
Sab Krishna, Krishna, Krishna lage. Sab Krishna, Krishna, Krishna lage. Sab Krishna